All right, let's go ahead and dive into the next section. Now that you've gotten through everything in terms of actually setting proposals and starting to talk with clients and hopefully landing clients as well, now we need to know actually how to manage these clients, get results for them, and make the process super easy and simple for you and them. So let's dive into client success systems. So this is the exact backend system that I've implemented after we did a lot with our marketing agency way back years ago. I mean, we bounced around from using so many different tools like Asana, Trello, Salesforce, Basecamp, like all types of stuff. We went like ultra complicated with systems to then figuring out how to keep it super simple. So now this is basically how I have it set up so that it's super simple for you. So this is the backend system and client management. The goal here is to stay organized and look professional from day one. So landing clients is one thing, but keeping them happy, delivering consistently, and scaling without chaos, that's where a lot of freelancers fail. So you don't want a massive tech stack, complicated systems, or anything like that. You just need a few simple tools and smart habits that make you look and operate like a pro. So this is exactly how I stay organized and keep my clients paying to work with me month after month. So first off, tools and systems. Like I said, you don't need a ton of tools. You just need the right ones for communication, organization, and payments. So this is my exact setup. First off, I have Slack. So this is where I have both my team and client communication. This is where I communicate with the team and clients. If you hire help down the line, then you'll communicate with the team. Otherwise, it'll just be you and clients. So Slack over email or Upwork messages. First off, faster communication. The messages feel more immediate and conversational. Something I didn't even mention here, but you can also send voice messages, which I think is super useful depending on the client and everything. And then also organized channels. So you can create separate channels for each client or project, such as client name communication. That's how I usually do it. So for example, like Logan Lesser communication or John Doe communication. And then video editing crew, this is literally my channel for my team and everything. And then file sharing, you can drop files, links, and updates directly in the conversation without like digging through email threads or anything like that. And then it's also professional but casual. Like it kind of strikes that right balance between formal email and chaotic texting. So I really like Slack. If you've ever used Discord, it's very, very similar. It's like the business version of Discord. And pro tip, once you sign a client, immediately invite them to a dedicated Slack channel. It shows you're organized and makes communication seamless from day one. And I'll even show you, this is literally what the inside of Slack looks like. So this is actually my communication channel between me and my editor who does my content and everything. So literally it's just a channel named Logan Lesser Communication. I've got the same setup for all my clients that are inside of this channels toggle. And then basically up here under bookmarks, I have the Google Drive, which I'm about to dive into that next. And that's where all like the content and everything is at. And then for this in particular, I have B-roll content. That's not really necessary, but the Google Drive is what's most important. So very simple. And then I just send messages in here. But basically going back to here, that's the wrong area. My bad. Go back to Notion. The next thing is the Google Drive. So this is where I organize all of my assets. So this is where I keep all my client files organized. And this is literally my client structure for every client. It's super simple. It's literally their name. And then within that folder, unedited videos, currently doing, completed, and B-roll. Obviously, this will be different depending on the service you're offering. You might not even need Google Drive, to be honest. You might just need Slack to communicate and everything. But this is how I have it set up. And I'll literally show you, this is inside of mine. So this is the client's folder, which is just my folder. And then I've got unedited videos. This is where I'll upload new content and stuff for my editor to actually like download and start working on. And then currently doing, this is where he'll upload videos into here for me to basically review and everything like that before I actually post it and everything. And then completed is once it's completed, I'll obviously move it into there. So, and this is just extra stuff like my LUT and color grading settings for my videos and everything, and then just B-roll content that he can pull from. But anyway, that's the Google Drive setup, relatively simple. And I use it because it's easy to navigate. You always know where to find files, keeps clients in the loop. You can share the folder with them so they can drop raw footage in there super easily into that unedited videos folder. And then no lost files, like everything's backed up and accessible from anywhere. So if my computer fell into a lake, everything would still be there. So it's super useful in that case. And then pro tip, name the files clearly. Like instead of naming it video one, use something like the client's name, the name of the reel or that video, the date, and then like what version it is. That just saves you and your client time when searching for specific stuff. Now, something specific to video editing, I'm actually going to be transitioning to frame.io for the revision management of videos. It's just way better for video editing and actually um, doing revisions with videos. And the reason is because like clients can leave feedback directly on the video. So as they're watching it, like if there's a change they want made at 12 seconds, they can add a comment and it's linked to 12 seconds. And they add the comment and they're like, hey, can you change this clip to so and so? It's just way easier for video editing. So if you're going to do video editing, I'd recommend checking out frame.io. It's super cheap too. So I think it's well worth it. Plus, you can see every version of the video and compare changes side by side, and then just overall a cleaner revision process for you and the client, which I think is obviously super useful. It's not like it's not like, can you change the music, also the text, and maybe the hook? Actually, can we start over? Blah blah blah. Like everything's organized and trackable, makes it super seamless and easy. So would definitely recommend that. And if you're not doing video editing work, Google Drive is totally fine. Like Frame.io is mainly for video editing, so don't overcomplicate it. And then payments. I'd recommend using Stripe, pretty straightforward. Once you move off Upwork, you're obviously going to need a way to collect payments. Stripe is the cleanest, most professional option. Very easy for invoicing. Automatic payments, you can set up recurring ones for retainer clients, so they're billed automatically every month, so you don't got to worry about it. And so you also don't need to send them a message every month like, hey, can you pay this invoice again? It's much easier if it just goes off automatically. And then professional branding, you can brand it to yourself with your logo and business name if you've got one. And then low fees, way cheaper than Upwork's 10 to 20% cut. It's literally like a couple percent. So very, very well worth getting away from Upwork for that. And honestly, how to use it, like I included this, but it's so straightforward. Just create a Stripe account. It's free. Set up an invoice for your client, send them the payment link, and get paid. Super simple. Takes 5 minutes to set up, makes you look like a legit business, not just a freelancer, and you make more money because you don't deal with the, costs of Upwork and everything and all those fees. Anyway, now let's jump into how to keep your clients long term. These are the three most important things for client retention, in my opinion, and from my experience. And those are well, before we dive in, you can have the best systems in the world, but if you're not keeping clients happy, they're going to leave. And then you got to go find more. And that's just a pain. If you can keep the same clients for a long time, that's the goal. So here's the three non-negotiables for long-term client retention. First off, fast communication. I cannot stress this enough. Like, you need to be fast with communicating. It's not hard to reply to a text. I'm telling you, and it is so impactful. Try to reply to clients within a few minutes of them messaging you. I don't care what time of the day it is. Like, have your Slack notifications on and reply. Even if you don't have the finished project ready, a quick reply just lets them know you're actively working on their project, and it keeps them happy and in the loop. And it's so important because the client doesn't want to wonder if you saw their message. They want to know you're on it. Fast responses equal trust and professionalism. And a pro tip, turn on your Slack notifications on your phone, download the app, make sure it's on your phone. You don't have to be glued to your screen 24/7, but being responsive at least during work hours and ideally non-work hours goes a long way. Like if the client sends you a message and is like, hey, I uploaded raw footage and it's like 8 o'clock at night, if you send them a message at 8:05 and you're like, sweet, I'll get to it first thing tomorrow, then they're going to appreciate that. It's not about you needing to work 24/7 or be available 24/7. It's just about making sure to reply and keep them in the loop with things and to make sure that they know you saw their message and you're on top of stuff. So hopefully that makes sense, but fast communication above everything. And then next, this is so important that I've learned over the years, especially at my original marketing agency, is be proactive. Don't wait for them to ask you about something. Show you genuinely care about getting results and keeping them accountable. This is what separates average freelancers from A-plus freelancers. And an example is I don't wait for my client to ask me, hey, do you have enough footage? Like for me to edit, hey, do you have enough footage or do I need to record more? Instead, I will proactively send him updates like, hey, John, just giving you an update on the content pipeline. I've got 3 more videos left to edit from the last batch of footage you sent. After that, I'll be out of raw content, just letting you know so you can plan ahead for making more videos. Whenever I send this, my clients always thank me for being proactive. They always thank me for keeping them in the loop. And they've literally said things like, hey, thanks, this really helps me plan ahead and know what to put in my schedule and stuff like that. Like they really appreciate it. So make sure to do that. It shows you're thinking ahead. You're not just executing tasks, but you're actually managing the workflow. It also prevents bottlenecks, so the client doesn't like have to scramble last minute to record more content if you run out. And it also builds trust. Like clients love freelancers who take ownership and make their life easier because like we've talked about in previous videos, you become a I'm totally spacing the word, but you become a partner, not just like a freelancer or an employee. So, or you become a growth partner, not just like an employee or something. Like you are on top of your area. Like video editing and his personal brand, that's my area to take control of. So I've got control of it and I'm doing everything I can to make his life easier. And other ways to be proactive, you can suggest improvements to their strategy, maybe flag potential issues before they become problems, share ideas or trends you've noticed in their niche to give them more ideas. So you're not just a doer, you're a strategic partner. Like I said, that's how you become irreplaceable. If you just execute on tasks and they're constantly having to keep you accountable and stay on top of you, it's going to get annoying and they're going to be looking for other options. Whereas if you're always on top of stuff, they're going to be like, oh man, Logan's always on top of it. Like he's my guy. Like he is the dude. And that's also what leads to referrals. Because if somebody was to mention to my client, like, yeah, I'm looking to build my brand and I just struggle with editing, he'd be like, oh, you should talk with my guy Logan. He's the best. Like he's always on top of stuff. He knows his shit and he's really good. Like I'll hook you up with him. Like that is how you get referrals. And then third, this seems obvious, but I don't know why I have to say this, but so many people don't do this, which is do a damn good job. Like it's obvious, but this is where so many people drop the ball. Even people I've hired and worked with in the past, like it just blows my mind. I'm like, there's no way you sent this to me thinking this is good. Like it's not. So do a damn good job. Whenever you can, try to over deliver. Impress them. Aim to get messages like, wow, nice work, man. Like I honestly get that message quite a bit because I go above and beyond. And I always am like, how can I make this video better? Like, how can I add more pizzazz to this and make it even better and blow them away and make them think, wow, you actually like added that. That's really good. So what that looks like, finishing ahead of deadline. If they expect it Friday, deliver it Thursday. Add small extras like throw in an extra title option or suggest a better hook or include a bonus version with different music for them to choose from. Another one, anticipate their needs. If you notice something that could be better, fix it before they even ask. And an example, let's say a client sends you raw footage for a reel. Instead of just editing it exactly as they requested, you also test two different hooks. Give them two different hooks to choose from. Suggest a trending audio that'll fit with their brand and create a cover image they can use when they post it. Like, on Instagram, when you make a post or a reel specifically, and you choose the cover image to show like on your wall or your main page, like oftentimes I'll create a cover image and I'll send it to them and be like, hey, you can use this as the cover image. They really appreciate that because that goes beyond just editing their video. And the result, they get more than they paid for. They feel like they got a steal and they never want to work with anyone else. And that keeps them glued to working with you. Remember, you're not just trying to meet expectations, you're trying to exceed them. That's how you turn one-time clients into long-term retainers and get referrals. Now, this is a question that I feel like a lot of people have, which is, do you need checking calls? And the short answer, probably not what you're expecting, is probably not. I've never done regular checking calls with my current clients, not once. And my retention rate is still great. And the reason is because they're honestly usually unnecessary if you're communicating really well through Slack. Like most clients, they also don't actually want to hop on calls every week. They just want to know their project's on track, you're responsive and reliable, and they can reach you if something's up. That's where the fast communication comes back into play. So if you can accomplish all that without burning time, or you can accomplish all that without burning time on calls. Now, here's some stuff you can do instead of checking calls is send async updates via like voice messages in Slack, like I mentioned, or Loom videos. Record a Loom video like this, going through an update or something, or a voice message explaining where things stand. It's a lot faster than a call and doesn't require coordinating schedules and everything like that. Another thing, proactively update them in Slack. So drop quick updates like, hey, John, just finished videos 3 and 4, uploading them to the finished folder now. Let me know if you need any tweaks. Just be proactive. And it keeps them in the loop without needing a meeting or anything. And only hop on calls when there's a real reason. So if the client has a complex new project, wants to discuss strategy or needs to clarify something big, then do a call. Otherwise, you can keep communication in sync. The exception is some services do require regular calls, like consulting, strategy work, or digital marketing. Like when I ran my agency in the past, we actually did do weekly calls with all of our clients, but what we were doing was digital marketing, running their Meta and Google ads, and we were working with e-commerce brands. So since we were like spending a significant amount of their money every single day running their ads, they obviously wanted to hop on a call every week to make sure like, okay, what's happening? How are the results? What's the plan moving forward? Like all this stuff. So that type of stuff does usually require a call. If that's you, then build it into your offer. But for most execution-based services like editing, design, writing, stuff like that, calls are usually optional. So don't include them unless the client specifically asks. And even then, you can often redirect to async updates instead. And believe it or not, they might actually appreciate that, especially if you frame it in a way where it's like, hey, I assume you don't want to have to spend time hopping on calls. I know you're super busy with running your business and managing your team. So I think what we could do instead is I could send you a Loom video every week, just updating you on stuff. And if you still want to hop on a call to discuss it further, we can definitely do that. So if you do that, then it obviously just, it shows that you're making the reason for not hopping on a call in their favor. It's not you saying like, oh, I don't really like hopping on calls or whatever. It's saying like, hey, I think it'd be more beneficial for you if we don't hop on calls and I do this instead. It'll save you time. So when you do it that way, they're a lot more receptive to it. So anyway, those are client success systems. And the key takeaways here, use Slack for communication. It's fast, more organized, more professional than email, a lot easier too. And use Google Drive or Frame.io if you're doing video editing. Keeps files organized with clear folder structures. And use Stripe for payments. Clean, professional invoicing makes you look legit. Skip checking calls unless it's absolutely necessary. Use async updates like Loom, voice messages, Slack, just to save you and the client time. And seriously, reply fast. Even if you don't have the answer yet, just acknowledge their message within a few minutes. It goes a long way. Be, pro be proactive. Don't wait for them to ask. Show you're thinking ahead and keeping them on track, and over deliver as much as possible. Like do a damn good job. Aim to impress them every time. If you do these things consistently, clients will stick with you for months or years. Now, the next video, let's go ahead and dive into the mindset that separates successful freelancers from everyone else, as well as some important principles and everything like that. Now, with that being said, if you want this entire template and the entire blueprint and everything, including these additional tools, you can grab it in the description below. It includes all this that I've gone through in these videos so far, as well as the specific scripts, templates, and everything that I use to land clients, as well as I put together these actual worksheets in some of these sections to really make it easier for you to map this stuff out for yourself. Like for example, with this one, figuring out your skill and what skill you want to go after, mapping out your unfair advantage, all that type of stuff. This is just going to expedite the process for you to start getting results and landing clients as fast as possible, because I've done this for years and I failed at it for a long time and did a ton of trial and error and spent a lot of money on stuff that didn't work. So this is just you taking what works, steal it from me, and just implement it yourself. And it also includes these tools that I put together like Life Game OS. This allows me to turn my life into a video game, and it makes discipline effortless, and it makes work feel like play. This is an absolute game changer, has your milestones and goals right here visually for you, which is really, really helpful for me at least. The activity tracker is a game changer for Upwork specifically and freelancing, because this gamifies the entire process. Because submitting Upwork proposals daily, spending 3 to 3.5 hours a day doing it is not fun. You'll find out pretty quickly. So gamifying it in a way, or somehow gamifying it, which is what this does, makes it way more enjoyable. It makes consistency way easier, and it makes discipline effortless. So this is an absolute game changer for you. That I put together just to make sure you get results. The engaged prospects, this is just to keep track of people who replied positively in Upwork so that you never leave a possible deal on the table. And then lastly, the personal finance tracker, just to keep track of exactly how much money you're spending and making just throughout your entire life, just in all areas. And it also kind of gamifies it, because you can be like, oh man, I hope I make more money this month than last month. Let's try and keep our expenses lower and increase our income. So if you can, if you can notice the pattern, I try to gamify as much of my life as possible. And these are the tools I created to do that. So if you want to grab them all and implement them for yourself, just to help you in all areas of your life, such as Life Game OS, that's what that does, but also help you expedite the results with becoming a successful freelancer, grab it in the description below, and I hope you enjoy. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the last video, which is important principles and mindset.